Good afternoon, friends. Myself, Sainath Lambade, and today we are going to continue the chapter Control and Coordination. We are going to discuss the sub-bit that is a human brain. In human brain, the another name for the human brain that is called as a encephalon. Human brain is also called as a encephalon. To study of all aspects of the brain is called encephalology. Means to study about the brain that is known as a encephalology. That is called as a encephalology. Next, second point, human brain is well protected in the bony box. Human brain is well protected in the bony box that is called as a cranium of skull. That is called as a cranium of skull. The question if asked to you, that is in which box the human brain is fixed, then you should answer the question that is in the cranium of the skull. That is in the cranium of the skull. Third point, the brain, it is a soft, whitish, large sized, and slightly flattened. The brain is soft, whitish, large sized, and slightly flattened. The brain is slightly flattened. The brain develops in full size at the age of 6 years and 30,000 millions of neurons. As you know that the full size of the brain development needs about 6 years. The child of 6 years, the whole development of your brain takes place at the age of 6 years, and there are having the presence of 30,000 million neurons. As you know that neurons are fixed in the human body. When you will take a birth, whatever the neuron are present at that time, that neurons are continuously in human body, and neurons are not having the capability to divide. So there are 30,000 millions of neurons supposedly to be present in the human body. Again, one more point has been left here, but I will take, that is the weight of a human brain, that is about 1300 to 1400 grams. The weight of the brain is 1300 to 1400 grams. Shall I write here? Weight of brain, that is 13 to 1400 grams, and cc, that is a cranium capacity, that is a 1400 to 1500 cc in volume. So this point has been left, but I have considered that point, that weight of a human brain is about, weight you have to keep in mind that weight is about 1300 to 1400 grams, and what is the capacity of the human brain, that is about 1400 to 1500 cc in volume. Cc means cranium capacity of the brain is about for that is 1400 to 1500 cc. Now we shall see the little bit outline chart of human brain. We shall see the outline chart of human brain. And human brain has been mainly divided into three parts. Human brain is mainly divided into three parts. First one, that is a forebrain. Forebrain is called as a prosencephalon. Forebrain is called as a prosencephalon, and another, that is a midbrain, that is actually called as a mesencephalon. Midbrain is called as a mesencephalon, and last is the hindbrain or hindbrain, that is called as a rhombencephalon. That is called as a rhombencephalon. And first we'll see that forebrain has been divided into again three types. That three types forebrain has been divided. First is the olfactory lobe. That olfactory lobe is also having the another name, that is called as a rhinencephalon. Cephalon means brain. That is a part of the brain. So olfactory is having the another name, that is rhinencephalon. And as you know that olfactory, that is related with your smell, that is related with smell, that are mainly having the olfactory epithelium present in the your nasal cavity. We are going to be discussing detail. Okay, then next part of the forebrain, that is a cerebrum. That is a cerebrum. As you know that cerebrum is the largest and most prominent part of the human brain. It occupies about 85% of the total space by the cerebrum. So you have to keep in mind that cerebrum is the largest plus prominent part of the human brain, and it has occupied about 85% of total space of the brain. The another name for the cerebrum, that is known as a telencephalon. That is known as a telencephalon, and followed by this cerebrum, that is a diencephalon. That is a diencephalon. Actually, this diencephalon is having the another name, that is called as a thalamencephalon. Another name is a thalamencephalon. Diencephalon is below the cerebrum. That is one kind of a box, that is a box like structure, and it has divided again into diencephalon, that are mainly divided into three types. This is a epithalamus, thalamus, and hypothalamus. First we'll see that epithalamus. Epi means above. Epi means above, and actually this epithalamus is the roof of a diencephalon. If there is one box or one room, that room is having a uppermost part, roof layer, that is called as a epithalamus. So the roof of the diencephalon, that is a epithalamus, and there are having the walls, that is called as a thalamus, that is known as a thalamus. Thalamus are the walls of the diencephalon. They are also called as the windows of the diencephalon, or they are known as the windows of the brain, or also they are known as a gatekeeper of the brain. Whatever the information that is going to be given to the brain, first of all, that is rechecked by the gatekeeper, that is the thalamus. What is to be sent to the brain or not to be sent to the brain, that is carried out by the thalamus. So whatever the information is to be forwarded or not to forward to the brain, that in the hand of the thalamus. So followed by the thalamus, there is a hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is known as a floor of the diencephalon. Hypothalamus is known as the floor of the diencephalon. As all you know that about this hypothalamus is the master of master gland. Master gland you might be knowing about the pituitary gland. The master of pituitary gland is the hypothalamus. The arising of the pituitary gland takes place from the hypothalamus. So we will discuss in detail about this pituitary gland in detail in the next lecture, that is having a glands. We are having the endocrine glands in that. Okay, in middle midbrain that is called as a mesencephalon, and this midbrain has been again divided into two parts, that is a cerebral peduncle, or that is called as a crura cerebri, that is called as a crura cerebri. And followed by this crura cerebri, there is again divided into next part, that is a corpora quadrigemina, that is called as a corpora quadrigemina. We'll all these discuss. Then again followed by this midbrain, there is having the presence of hindbrain. Hindbrain is having the another name, that is a rhombencephalon, and this rhombencephalon has been divided into three parts, that is a cerebellum, pons varoli, and medulla oblongata. As you all know that small brain that is called as a cerebellum, that is known as a cerebellum, pons varoli, and medulla oblongata. As you know that pons varoli is known for the pneumotaxic center, that is a switch button for the inspiration and expiration. And as you know, the medulla oblongata we are going to discuss in detail, but medulla oblongata are having the called as a relay center, or that is having the presence of respiratory rhyme center, as well as hiccuping, coughing center, as well as there is also having the presence of uh, uh, that is also having the presence of heart. Human means heart beat, to regulate the heartbeat. That center, cardiovascular center, actually lies in the medulla oblongata, as we'll see in the detail. So these three things: first, metencephalon. Metencephalon is covered under the cerebellum and pons varoli. In metencephalon, actually this hindbrain rhombencephalon has been mainly divided into main two parts, that is the metencephalon and myelencephalon. Under the metencephalon that comes cerebellum and pons varoli, and under the myelencephalon that comes the medulla oblongata, that is the last part of our brain, and that is continuous in the form of spinal cord. So followed by these, we'll see the discussion about the, that is we're going to see olfactory lobes. We're going to see about the olfactory lobes. As you know that olfactory lobe is called as a rhinencephalon, that is known as a rhinencephalon, and these are highly reduced in human brain. Olfactory lobes are not well developed in the human brain. As you know that the olfactory lobes are well developed in the dogs as compared to the human beings. These olfactory lobes are paired. How they are found? They are in the form found paired small solid bodies present ventrally. They are present ventrally. If you see the brain from the ventral side, front side, that is called as the ventral, and the back side, that is known as the dorsal side. So from these are literally seen from the ventral side. They are seen from the ventral in the forebrain. They are present in the, if anybody asks you the question, the olfactory lies in what? That is, they lie in the forebrain. That is a part of a forebrain. So we are discussing about the forebrain. They are covered by cerebral hemisphere. These olfactory lobes from the dorsal part, they are totally covered by the cerebral hemisphere, and can be visible only from ventral side. They are visible only from the ventral side. As you want to see what is an olfactory lobe, actually this olfactory lobe is made up of these two parts, that is olfactory bulb and olfactory tract. This, you see, this is like a bulb like structure, that is called as an olfactory bulb, and this is called as a bundle of nerves, and this is called as a olfactory bundle of axons, and they are called as a olfactory tract. And these are the spinal nerves, that spinal node, that is olfactory nerves. They are arising from the this, and they are continued into the epithelial layer of a nasal cavity. So we are activated for the various good smell or bad smell. We can judge for that it is either good smell or bad smell. So it is present in the nasal cavity, this olfactory nerves. So Again, olfactory tract merge in the olfactory area of the temporal region. Actually, these olfactory tracts are merged at the side region of the brain above your ears. That is a temporal region. That is a they are merged into the temporal lobe. Poor sense of smell in the human beings, probably due to the small size of a olfactory lobes. We are having this poor smell capacity to recognize either. So why it is? That is because of the not well developed of the this olfactory lobe. Olfactory lobes are not well developed. As we'll see this cerebrum, as we are going to see about the cerebrum, actually we'll just see the only division part of the cerebrum, and in detail we shall study in the next lecture of about the cerebrum and functional area of the cerebrum, because cerebrum is the largest part of the human brain. So we'll occupy one lecture on this cerebrum, but whatever things are there on this page now we shall discuss. Cerebrum is the largest and most prominent and complex. That is having a very complex means that in Marathi you may say gunta gunti. It's a complicated part of a forebrain and making about 85% of the total brain. So our total brain is covered of or presence of cerebrum. 85% brain is formed of cerebrum, and this cerebrum has been divided into two parts, that is the right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemisphere, and this cerebral hemisphere is divided by a median. This cerebral hemisphere has been divided by the median, that is called as a long fissure or longitudinal fissure. As I will see here a little bit diagram that human brain has been divided into actually these two cerebral hemisphere. This is a one cerebral hemisphere and this is a second cerebral hemisphere. Actually this is having a deep line here, there is having the separation, and this separation of cerebral hemisphere actually that is called by the carried out by the long fissure. Fissure means one line, that is a deep line that gives a partition between the these two hemisphere is taken place with the help of long fissure or longitudinal fissure, or we can say it as a longitudinal fissure. Longitudinal fissure. Fissure means a deep line. So you might be seen in this. So I shall stop here and we will have with the next lecture with the cerebrum. Thank you. Have a good day.